Gentlemen, let me be real with you for a second. Women are the best undercover agents on this planet. Forget the FBI, forget MI6. If a woman wants to hide the fact that she's craving you, oh, she will act like she's auditioning for an Oscar. But listen, the body never lies. The energy never lies. And today, I'm about to expose the 4 dead giveaways that a woman is secretly craving you, but trying to play it cool. You know when you catch her staring, and she quickly looks away like she was just daydreaming. Don't be fooled. If her eyes keep finding you in a room full of people, she's not just checking the wallpaper, baby. She's checking you. The eyes are the GPS to attraction. Now this one is sneaky. She'll act like she doesn't care what you do, but then she'll drop these little tests. Suddenly she's teasing you more than usual, or giving you those sarcastic little jabs, like she's trying to keep her guard up. What she's really saying is, I feel something, but I'm not ready to hand you all my cards. Listen closely. Women can say why I'm not into you with their words, but their body will be screaming another story. Does she lean in when you talk? Does she fix her hair when you walk into the room? Does she linger just a little too long in your space? That's not by accident. That's attraction leaking out, no matter how much she tries to tuck it back in. Here's the big one. Every woman has rules. Things she doesn't do. But suddenly, with you, she's breaking her own rules. Maybe she stays up late texting even though she needs her beauty sleep. Maybe she laughs at jokes she'd normally roll her eyes at. Maybe she shares personal stuff with you that she doesn't tell anybody else. That's her way of saying, you matter more than I'm willing to admit out loud. So fellas, if you're sitting there wondering, is she craving me but hiding it? Pay attention. Watch the eyes, the body, the little contradictions. Women are masters of disguise, but the signs always slip through, and once you spot them, trust me, you'll never second guess her energy again. When it comes to attraction, the eyes are the most powerful truth tellers. You see, while words can be carefully crafted and behavior can be strategically played, the eyes often reveal the story a woman is trying so hard to keep hidden. When a woman is craving you but doesn't want to show it outright, her eyes become the first window into her feelings. Think about those moments when you catch her looking at you across the room. Maybe it's a lingering glance that lasts a second too long. Maybe it's the quick snap of her eyes back to her phone or her drink when she realizes you caught her staring. In those fleeting moments, she's revealing far more than she intends. That look is not accidental, it's instinctual. She's drawn to you, her curiosity is piqued, and her attraction escapes through her gaze. What makes the eyes so powerful is that they are nearly impossible to control fully. Sure, she can look away or pretend she wasn't staring, but that split-second moment, the dilation of her pupils, the way her eyes soften when they land on you, those are things that happen naturally, without conscious effort. It's biology at work. When we're interested in someone, our pupils dilate to let in more light, and our eyes literally light up. That subtle shine, that spark, is one of the most undeniable giveaways of attraction. And then there's the frequency of eye contact. If you notice her eyes finding you multiple times, especially in a crowded room, pay attention. That's not coincidence. Humans naturally focus on the things that matter most to them, the people who grab their attention. So if she's scanning the room and her gaze keeps landing on you, even if she immediately pretends to be uninterested, that's her desire slipping through. It's almost like her eyes betray her own defenses. Another layer to this is the way she looks at you when you're speaking. Does she hold your gaze just a little longer than normal? Does she seem fully locked in, like the rest of the room has faded away? Or maybe she looks away quickly, almost as if she's afraid of what you'll see if you look too deeply into her eyes. Both are signs. Holding your gaze shows comfort and a desire to connect, while quickly looking away shows vulnerability. It's her silent way of saying, yes, I feel something, but I don't want you to catch me admitting it. There's also the playful glance, what some people call the double take. She might look at you, look away, and then sneak a second look when she thinks you're not paying attention. That's not just casual observation. That's her fighting the urge to admire you while still trying to keep her feelings hidden. She may even mask it by pretending she was just looking past you or focusing on something else. But deep down you know the look was intentional. What's fascinating is that attraction through the eyes is universal. Cultures may differ in how openly people express desire, But eye contact as a signal of interest is something deeply human. It bypasses the rational mind and cuts straight to emotion and instinct. For a woman craving you but hiding it, her eyes will often give her away before anything else. She might be able to control her words, she might even control her actions, but that spark in her eyes, that little shine that lingers when she sees you, it's almost impossible to fake. So, if you ever find yourself questioning whether a woman feels drawn to you, pay attention to the unspoken language of her eyes. They tell the truth her lips may never confess. They reveal desire she may not be ready to verbalize. And once you learn to read them, you'll understand that the eyes are not just windows to the soul. They're the windows to attraction, craving, and everything she's trying so hard to hide. One of the most confusing but also most revealing signs that a woman is craving you but trying to keep it under wraps is what I call the unbothered act. This is when she goes out of her way to act like she doesn't care about you, what you're doing, or how you affect her, when deep down the exact opposite is true. On the surface, she'll present herself as cool, detached, and indifferent. She'll shrug off your presence, she might even tease you or downplay your importance, but underneath, that energy is bubbling with interest. It's not that she doesn't care, it's that she cares too much, and caring makes her feel vulnerable. When a woman likes someone, she knows that showing it openly can shift the power dynamic. She doesn't want to appear too eager, because eagerness could be read as desperation. So instead, she covers up her feelings with the mask of being unbothered. It's a defense mechanism, a way to protect her heart while still staying close enough to you to keep the connection alive. What makes it tricky is that this act can look so convincing that you start to second guess her feelings altogether. You may think she's uninterested, but if you read between the lines, her actions tell a very different story. The unbothered act usually shows up in little ways. She might tease you, almost like she's daring you to prove her wrong. She might downplay the things you do, acting like she's not impressed, even though she notices every detail. She could pretend she doesn't care if you text her back, or if you take too long to respond, but the truth is she's watching her phone, fighting the urge to double-check. She might say things like, "You're not that special," or roll her eyes at your jokes, but pay attention to whether she keeps coming back for more. If she's truly uninterested, she wouldn't bother giving you energy at all. Another layer to the unbothered act is the way she positions herself around you. She may act like she's not invested, yet somehow she's always in your orbit. Maybe she finds excuses to be near you, but plays it off like coincidence. Maybe she pretends not to notice you walking into the room, but then makes sure her presence is felt anyway. The effort to act detached actually draws more attention to her, and that contradiction is the giveaway. People who genuinely don't care don't perform indifference, they simply remove themselves. If she's still showing up and still engaging, even in this too cool way, it's because you matter more than she wants to admit. What's powerful about this act is how it exposes the tension between desire and fear. On one hand, she craves the connection, but on the other hand, she's afraid of what happens if she puts her feelings on the table. So she creates a performance, a version of herself that seems unaffected. But in that performance, little cracks start to show. The sarcasm, the playful jabs, the exaggerated indifference, they all hint that there's something more behind the curtain. The very effort to hide her attraction ends up drawing a spotlight to it. It's important to remember that this behavior is not meant to confuse you maliciously. It's often about self-protection. She doesn't want to give away her feelings too quickly, because that could mean rejection, vulnerability, or losing control. So she tries to balance it by holding back while still staying connected. Once you learn to see through it, the unbothered act becomes less of a puzzle and more of a signal. It tells you that her emotions are strong enough to make her cautious, and that in itself is a form of confirmation. So when you notice a woman acting like she's unbothered, don't take it at face value. Look at the consistency of her presence, the energy behind her teasing, and the subtle ways she stays engaged even while pretending not to. The mask of indifference is often the clearest sign that she cares more deeply than she wants to let on. And in that contradiction, between what she says and what her actions reveal, you'll find the truth she's trying so hard to hide. Body language is one of the most undeniable ways a woman reveals her attraction, even when she's trying to hide it. Words can be carefully chosen, and even tone can be controlled to some extent, but the body has its own language. It reacts in ways that are instinctive, often without permission from the mind. When a woman is craving you but doesn't want to come out and say it, her body will start sending signals that betray her inner feelings. The key is learning how to recognize these subtle cues and noticing the difference between casual friendliness and unspoken attraction. One of the most common signs is the way she positions herself when you're around. If she's drawn to you, her body will naturally orient toward you. Even if she's in conversation with other people, her feet might be pointed in your direction or her torso may subtly angle closer. It's a subconscious pull, like her body is magnetized toward your presence. She might lean in slightly when you speak, closing the space between you, or tilt her head in a way that shows she's fully invested in what you're saying. These may seem like small gestures, but they're loaded with meaning. Then there's the nervous energy that comes with attraction. She might fidget with her jewelry, play with her hair, or adjust her clothes when you enter the room. These little movements are rarely random. They're often signs of heightened awareness. She suddenly becomes more conscious of how she looks, how she's being perceived, and whether you're noticing her. Something as simple as tucking her hair behind her ear or reapplying lip gloss in your presence can be her body's way of signaling that she wants your attention, even if her words remain neutral. Another powerful giveaway is proximity. A woman who wants to keep her feelings hidden may not confess them directly, but you'll notice she finds excuses to be near you. Maybe she chooses the seat next to you when plenty of others are free. Maybe she lingers in your personal space just a little longer than necessary. She may even brush against you lightly in what seems like an accidental touch, but repeated accidents are rarely coincidences. The body instinctively seeks closeness when desire is present, and those moments of physical nearness are often louder than words. Eye contact, while connected to body language, also blends into this territory. If she holds your gaze longer than necessary, or if her eyes dart to your lips when you're talking, it's not just casual observation, it's her body signaling attraction without her having to say it. Combine that with the other cues, leaning in, lingering touches, nervous movements, and the story becomes clear. She may not be ready to admit how much she wants you, but her body already has. The beauty of body language is that it's difficult to fake consistently. A woman can control her words and even her expressions for a while, but eventually her body reveals the truth. Her gestures, her posture, and her small unconscious movements tell you everything you need to know about how she feels. When you learn to read these signs, you begin to see the difference between polite friendliness and hidden desire. So if you're wondering whether a woman is craving you but keeping it under wraps, watch her body closely. Notice where she places herself, how often she finds reasons to be near you, and the little adjustments she makes in your presence. These actions aren't random. They're reflections of her inner attraction. The body doesn't know how to lie. It only knows how to respond to energy, and when her body keeps gravitating toward you, it's telling you a story she may not be ready to put into words. When a woman is craving you but doesn't want to admit it outright, one of the clearest signs is when she makes you the exception to her own rules. Every person has boundaries, habits, and standards they live by. These rules are part of what defines them and how they navigate relationships. Maybe she has a strict bedtime routine, maybe she doesn't usually share personal stories easily, or maybe she never lets people see her vulnerable side. But when attraction runs deep, those carefully constructed rules start to bend, and often without her even realizing it. If you notice she's treating you differently than she treats everyone else, it's not random. It's because you've tapped into a space in her heart that most people can't reach. For example, a woman who is usually very disciplined about sleep might suddenly stay up late just to keep texting you. She'll tell herself she'll stop at midnight, but then the conversation flows past 1, past 2, and she's still wide awake because she doesn't want the connection to end. That's not casual. That's her overriding her own structure because being in your presence, even virtually, feels more important than sticking to her routine. She may try to downplay it, saying she just wasn't tired, but the truth is she wouldn't do that for just anyone. Another powerful clue is when she shares things with you that she normally keeps private. A woman who is craving you might open up about her past, her insecurities, or her secret dreams in ways she doesn't with others. Maybe she's known for being guarded, the type who laughs things off or keeps everything surface level. But with you, the guard drops. She lets you see her vulnerable side, the raw and unpolished truths she normally keeps locked away. That is a huge exception to her rules of self-protection, and it means you've gained her trust on a level she doesn't give freely. You might also notice that she breaks her own dating rules for you. Perhaps she always swore she would never make the first move, yet somehow she finds excuses to reach out to you before you reach out to her. Maybe she said she doesn't believe in spending too much time with someone too soon, but she keeps agreeing to see you, again and again, without hesitation. Attraction makes people bend the standards they set for themselves, not because they're inconsistent, but because the emotional pull is stronger than the rules they thought they lived by. Even in small gestures, these exceptions become visible. If she's someone who doesn't normally laugh easily, but she finds herself laughing at your corny jokes, that's her giving you access to a softer side of herself. If she's not typically affectionate, but she finds reasons to touch your arm or lean against you, that's her breaking her pattern because being close to you feels safe and exciting. These are not accidents. They're reflections of the unique impact you have on her. What makes this sign so powerful is that exceptions reveal value. When someone shifts their behavior for you, it's because they've decided, consciously or unconsciously, that you are worth bending for. Women don't compromise their comfort zones unless something in them feels strongly pulled. It's her way of saying, I don't usually do this, but with you it feels right. That contradiction between her rules and her actions is where the truth lies. So, if you ever find yourself wondering whether she's craving you while hiding it, pay attention to the places where she breaks character. Look for the moments where she does things with you that she claims she doesn't do with anyone else. Those are not random slips. They're signs of desire, trust, and emotional investment. A woman's rules are there for everyone, but when she makes you the exception, it's because you've become the one person she secretly wants more than she's willing to admit. Mixed signals are one of the most frustrating experiences for anyone trying to figure out if a woman is genuinely interested. One moment she seems warm, playful, and invested, and the next she pulls back, acts distant, or pretends you barely exist. It can leave you wondering if you're imagining things or if she's deliberately toying with you. But the truth is, when a woman is craving you but hiding it, mixed signals are often very intentional. They are part attraction, part protection, and part strategy. She wants you, but she also wants to keep her emotions under control, and the push and pull you feel is her attempt to balance both desires at once. When a woman gives off mixed signals, it's usually because she feels vulnerable. Attraction can be overwhelming, especially if admitting it means opening herself up to rejection or losing her sense of control. By acting hot one moment and cold the next, she maintains a sense of safety. She can enjoy the thrill of being close to you, but when she feels she's revealed too much, she retreats to re-establish her guard. This back and forth behavior might confuse you, but for her, it's a way of testing the waters while still protecting her heart. You might notice that she flirts with you one day, leaning into your energy and making it obvious that she enjoys your presence, then suddenly withdraws the next time you see her. That isn't her changing her mind about how she feels, it's her deliberately regulating how much she reveals. She doesn't want to seem too available, so she balances out her moments of openness with moments of distance. It's a defense mechanism designed to make sure she doesn't give all of herself away too quickly. Another example of intentional mixed signals is when she communicates interest in subtle ways but denies it outright if you bring it up. She might text you late at night, initiate conversations, or linger around you when she doesn't have to, but if you suggest she likes you, she brushes it off with a laugh or a sarcastic comment. That contradiction is not random. It's a way of keeping her attraction hidden in plain sight. She wants to feed the connection while still holding back from confirming it outright. Even in group settings, mixed signals become apparent. She might act distant in front of others, almost like she doesn't notice you, but in private she's fully engaged, vulnerable, and affectionate. This shift isn't about inconsistency, it's about control. By hiding her feelings publicly, she avoids judgment or questions, but in private, she allows herself to express more of what she's truly feeling. The inconsistency you sense is really her way of creating boundaries between what she shows the world and what she shares with you. The key thing to understand is that these mixed signals don't mean she's playing games for fun or trying to hurt you. More often than not, they're a reflection of her own internal conflict. She's torn between the craving she feels for you and the fear of exposing herself too soon. Her behavior becomes a tug of war between desire and self-protection. Each moment of warmth is her attraction slipping through, and each moment of distance is her attempt to hide it again. What makes mixed signals so powerful as a sign is that they don't usually happen without strong feelings. If she didn't care about you at all, her behavior would be consistent. She would either avoid you completely or treat you the same way she treats everyone else. The very fact that her actions swing between closeness and distance means you stir something in her that she's struggling to manage. The signals may be confusing, but the very confusion is proof that there's something deeper going on. So when you encounter mixed signals, don't dismiss them as randomness. See them for what they are, an intentional way of craving you while keeping herself safe. Her hot and cold behavior is not a lack of interest, but a sign of just how much interest she feels, and how much effort she's putting into not letting it show all at once. Energy is one of the most powerful forces in human connection, and when a woman is craving you but trying to hide it, her energy will often expose her before anything else does. Unlike words which can be carefully chosen, or actions which can be controlled to a degree, energy is raw and hard to disguise. It's the vibe you feel when she's around, the way the air between you seems charged, the way her presence makes you notice something is different, even if you can't put your finger on it. Energy has a language of its own, and when you tune into it, you start to see how much more honest it is than anything she might say out loud. You might notice that when she walks into the room, your attention shifts automatically, even if she isn't directly engaging with you. That's because her energy is directed toward you, even subtly. Maybe she tries to act casual, but the way she lights up in your presence, or the way her mood shifts when you're near, speaks louder than words ever could. She doesn't have to announce that she's drawn to you. Her energy does the talking for her. That glow in her expression, that heightened awareness, is impossible to fake for long. Energy also comes through in the way she responds to you. When a woman is craving you, conversations with you will feel different from the ones she has with other people. She might laugh more easily at your jokes, lean into your energy more deeply, or give you her full attention in a way that feels rare. Even if she tries to play it off, her excitement is evident in the way she invests in those moments. The warmth, the attentiveness, and the subtle enthusiasm are all signs of an energy that's stronger than she wants to admit. At times, you'll also feel tension in her energy. It's that push-pull dynamic where she wants to be close but also holds herself back. You'll sense her hesitating, like she's fighting with herself not to give away too much. That tension creates an unmistakable charge between you, a kind of unspoken electricity that lingers in the air. She may avoid eye contact one moment, but then stay unusually close the next. She may act indifferent in her words, but her energy feels restless in your presence. That tension is the energy of desire colliding with the effort to hide it. What's fascinating about energy is that it doesn't need direct confirmation. You can feel it even without obvious gestures. For example, if she's across the room but keeps finding ways to align herself in your space, or if her demeanor shifts whenever you interact, you're picking up on energy signals. Humans are highly intuitive, and we can sense attraction and attention even when nothing explicit is said. If you've ever felt that spark or that heaviness in the air between you and someone else, that's the power of energy speaking louder than words. Another way energy reveals itself is in how she reacts emotionally to you compared to others. If your opinion matters more to her than anyone else's, if your presence makes her nervous or excited, if your absence makes her quieter, that's her energy being invested in you. She might try to hide it, masking her feelings with sarcasm or indifference, but the underlying emotional charge always leaks through. The fact that she feels anything at all so strongly is proof of her craving, even if she's determined to conceal it. Attraction, at its core, is energetic. It's less about what's said and more about what's felt. A woman may never voice her feelings directly, and she may even deny them if asked, but her energy will keep telling the truth. The way she lights up, the way she hovers in your space, the way her mood shifts with your presence, these are all expressions of a craving that can't be fully contained. Words can deceive, actions can be disguised, but energy never lies.